Alrighty, CNT140. We are working on the project description part of our bid specification project. So I'm here on the bid spec page. I'm going to open the project description notes page here, and we'll take a look at what's here. This part of our plan, as I like to say it, is the piece that really can't be put in the charts and the spreadsheets and the diagrams that we've done previously. So these are the couple tidbits of information that does not easily fit in any one of those options. So this is the kind of questions we would want to answer for the customer or be ready to answer for the customer when we meet them in person. All right, so as we take a look at our notes page here, last couple things we did our closet layout and drawings. We did our cable certification. We added the fiber optic link between our closets, and then we did our Gantt chart, our little timeline, and that we had to show our customer this will be done first, second, third, and it's going to take this many weeks to install the cable plant in your facility. So this week we're moving on to our descriptions, project descriptions, and these are the things we want to be able to explain for our customer. As I like to say, this is the kind of stuff you'd want to be able to answer for them, pre-answer for them, or be able to answer when you meet them in person. So we're going to answer a couple of these questions for the customer in a couple sentences. It doesn't need to be a lot, but we need to kind of get our ideas down of this is either what we're going to do or this is what we're going to be able to answer for them when they ask these types of questions. So the easiest way to do that is create yourself a Google Doc or Microsoft Word file. I'm going to paste these little things in here as my little prompts to remind me what I'm answering. And then just answer those. Answer each one of those with, I like to say, a paragraph, 2 to 3 sentences, to say this is what we're going to do for this particular area of the plan. When we're done, we'll export that Microsoft Word document as either Microsoft Word or PDF, something like that, so it's easily submitted to D2L. So what I did was I created in my bid spec folder, I created a new Microsoft, or I should say a new Google Doc, and I just pasted these things right in here. This is right from our bid spec description page. We want to be able to answer for the customer these 5 areas. Why we chose the media we did, why we select the closets we did, how we're going to get the cabling to the rooms, how we're going to terminate all the outlets and outlet boxes in the facility, and how you're going to verify that the cabling and everything functions the way it should before you leave, cable certification. So I put this here as a reminder, so I have those for reference, and I'm just going to create a little heading and then answer that particular area. Oops. Let me get that back there. Create another heading for the next area, answer that. Create another heading for the next area, answer that, and so forth. That way I can just keep it nice and simple. And for each one, like the media chosen, we want to be able to explain to the customer what we chose for the horizontal cabling and what we chose for the backbone cabling and why, if you will. So you start off with something like, in this plan, we'll be using category 6 UTP cabling for the horizontal cabling in the building, blah, blah, blah. This media was chosen for the blah reason, this amount of bandwidth, blah, blah, blah. For this plan to connect our 2 closets, we're going to use 10 gig laser optimized multi-mode fiber. The reason this was selected is blah, blah, blah. Okay. And that literally would answer the first area. Give it, I always say, 3 sentence paragraph, 3 sentences, if you will, to describe. We don't need to spend write an entire page on just the media. We don't need to copy paste all kinds of information from a manufacturer website. Okay. We just want to explain the basics to them. But we do want to use the terms and terminologies and bandwidths and things we've learned this semester. So we want to use what we've learned this semester, but we don't need to go out and copy paste from a manufacturer's site. That's going to be just as confusing as them as it is to somebody else. But I do want to use the real information we've been learning. And we don't want to do one sentence because it's going to sound like Cookie Monster wrote it. We put cabling in, cable good. Okay. We need to give a little bit more. We need the middle ground in there. Okay. We don't need to be copy pasting from manufacturer's site, and we don't need to write like Cookie Monster. But we do need to answer how and why we're going to put the media in. We are. And then when we're done with that, that's done. Move on to the closets. Why did we select the 2 closets we did? Blah, blah, blah closet was chosen for this reason. It's going to service this part of the building. Blah, blah, blah closet was chosen for this reason. It's going to service this part of the building. Boom. Okay. How are we going to route the cabling to all the rooms? There's where you delineate about the cable trays in the hallway, J-hooks into the rooms. How are we going to terminate for the users? Well, this is where we indicate surface mount outlet boxes and raceways, X number of outlets in each room, If you had a large plan, this is where you would say, well, we're going to do, you know, four boxes of 6 or 6 outlet boxes of 4 drops in each room. This is where you can break that out. And then cable certification. How are we going to verify that the installed cabling is going to function the way they want it to? That's where we'll say, after installing the cabling, we will test for, you know, connectivity, and then we will certify the cabling. You'll say something like basic link or permanent link certification test to verify that it's able to handle the blah bandwidth, 10 gig bandwidth that we're trying to install, or gig bandwidth that we're trying to install to the desktop for these users. And then, you know, share with them that we will share these results with you to be a baseline for your company, etc., etc. Okay. Most people can accomplish this in literally maybe like 2 pages, so it does not need to be a whole lot. Like I said, you got to answer the question, but we don't need to do a page for each area here. So give yourself a heading, give a couple sentences, move on to the next area, give it a couple sentences, and so forth. All right, and that'll be our project descriptions. When you're done, export this as either a Microsoft Word file if you're using Microsoft Word, or if you're using Google Docs here, you can do a file and download as, you know, Microsoft Word or PDF. Either one of those are easily readable on D2L. Okay, either one of those is readable on D2L. So you'd export those to submit to D2L for your project at the end of the semester. There's your project descriptions for your BidSpec.